I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986. 303-900-8986.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recyclon Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at Bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recyclon.org/Colorado.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealership since 1975 in Boulder, has a championship-level lineup ready for you to test drive and take home today. They currently have specials on both the BMW X3 and X5 models. The BMW X3 model is a luxury compact SUV that offers balanced handling and a powertrain variety. The BMW X5 model is a high-performance powerhouse luxury model that offers you a thrilling driving experience. They also have a great pre-owned BMW lineup as well. Schedule your test drive today. Go to GebhardtBMW.com.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealership since 1975.
The hot weather is here. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new air conditioner? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinions. They have amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Don't worry, Dan. I have full coverage. Did you know that full coverage probably doesn't mean what most people thinks it means? Full coverage is generally just for your car. And if you don't have other coverages to protect you in the case you get hit by somebody else, well, then you're just straight up gambling that the bad driver that hit you has good insurance, and you don't want to do that. 15% of the drivers out there don't have any insurance at all. Others only have the minimum, when for pennies on the dollar, you can have the coverage that protects you in case somebody else smacks into you. Medical payments coverage. I saw a lady come in the office the other day, $25,000 in med pay coverage. Absolutely what you want. It was only $31 for the entire 6 months of the policy. It was another $100 or so for the UIM coverage she needed. She had over $100,000 in coverage there. You definitely want to have that. You protect other drivers if you hit them. You also need to protect yourself in case they hit you. Any questions at all, just call us 303-LAW-4040. Jacob's Law, 303-LAW-4040.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
On BritBox, there is a place where stories twist like cobblestone roads, grand manners hide secrets, and stakes are higher than seaside cliffs. Find places worth getting lost in on BritBox. Watch new series like The Other Bennett Sister from the world of Jane Austen and A Woman of Substance starring Golden Globe winner Brenda Blethyn. If you want to get away, you're in the right place. Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Free trial at BritBox.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Colorado, make sure your AC is ready for summer. 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning offers repairs, replacements, and tune-ups 24/7. Book at onehouraircolorado.com or call 855-1-HOUR.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Philip Lindsay. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
You know, some songs are just worth letting roll a little bit. You know, Dante? They just are. Monday edition of Denver Sports Tonight. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, Mike. How you doing? Did you miss me?
You know, I did miss you. I loved working with Z-Man. You know, I always do. Love Colin. But you know, you're the guy. We're the team. And when one of the teammates is out, and I know I've taken a few days this summer as well, it's like it's great, but it's not the same. And it's always good to be back with you. So,
I appreciate that. I don't know if it was meant to be a compliment, but I'm going to take it that way.
Dante, you know me better than that. Of course it's a compliment. It's not a backhanded compliment. That's the morning show guys, right? I mean, they're the ones who do all that. I'm not doing that show right now. No, it is good to see you, though. Enjoyed your time away?
Oh, it was great. Yep, on the mountains for the weekend, and it's good to be back. But yeah, it was a long weekend, but in the best way possible.
Any particular activities to fill us in on?
I was out in Telluride. The hike Bridal Falls, which I'm sure a lot of people listening have done. The little pool at the top when the waterfall creates is absolutely incredible. But yeah, that whole thing was great. Though the whole trip though is just such a great town.
I must say, I've done a lot of things in the mountains over the years. I have not done the hike to Bridal Veil. I have not. That's on the Colorado bucket list for me.
You got to check it out. Highly recommend.
I do. Long hike?
No, not terrible. It's probably a little bit less than 2 up and then same thing back. A couple waterfalls along the way that you see too, and then the big one at the very end.
I thought it was longer.
No, not too bad at all.
Okay.
There's some ones that you can go longer. There's like a Blue Lake and a Silver Lake. We weren't exactly in the right frame of mind to continue going that far. It had been a long night the night before.
Okay. Well, yeah, and you know, you sea level guys, you know, I mean, it's like, I'm just kidding you. You know that. You've been here long enough. A lot to get to. What a week it is as Broncos training camp gets going. We will obviously spend some time on that. We will talk a little Nuggets because we sort of have to. We got a text on Friday from, I think it was Mike, who we love Mike. He listens all the time, texts in all the time. And he said, all you guys do is talk about how the Nuggets stink, and you know, how come you're not talking about the Avs? Well, the reason, Mike, is because there's no real news around the Avs right now. That's just how it is. But let's start with training camp, Dante. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is yawner, 10 is I am literally counting down the hours until the first practice on Friday. 1 to 10, where do you land? As far as the interest, the excitement, the anticipation, and those kind of things.
I'm at like a 7. I really am. Maybe even higher. It's going to be my first training camp where I'm out there for a majority of the day, so I'm very excited on a personal level as well, but I'm also excited to see this football team get going. It felt like such a rushed conclusion to the end of last season with Bo Nix's injury that I'm sure the Broncos would have told you that too. It's like, hey, we want to get right back out there, obviously pending Bo Nix's health. But I'm very excited. I think the team should be excited after last year and hopefully be able to cross the finish line and continue to build on what we saw last season.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm right in that 7-8 category as well. The only reason it's not a 10 is it is training camp, and we know it's part of the journey, the beginning of the journey. And yet we're going to overanalyze everything. So just get ready for that because that's what all of us do. We're so thirsty for football and hungry for more football, and here it is. Training camp is the first step in that. By the way, you can always weigh in. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. The Fan YouTube page. The chat is powered by Champ Honda. If you want to get your thoughts heard, head to either one of those platforms. And I asked Colin this on Friday. And I just like this question, and I want to get your thoughts because it's not really an original question, but it's pertinent because we're on the doorstep of training camp now, and there has been a lot of movement through the offseason in terms of the draft, in terms of running it back, the Davis Webb change, the Bo Nix ankle discussion. What's the most compelling storyline as we enter training camp? And this is going to vary individual to individual. One person might say, hey, how does Jalen Waddle fit in? Because that's where I'm at. Another person might say, no, it is Davis Webb. And what does the offense look like? What do the play calls look like? How does that operation look? Somebody else might say Bo's ankles. Someone else might say the defense and whether or not they can even build on where they were. Where do you land?
Well, you mentioned one person might say it's Jalen Waddle and fit into the offense. I am one of those people.
Okay,
and I think it is that because he was the big acquisition this offseason. Broncos traded a first-round draft pick for him, and similar to last year when everyone was really excited about Jahdae Barron, that was the first-round draft pick. So in lieu of the first-round draft pick, we have Jalen Waddle arriving in Denver, and I'm very excited. Obviously, he has an NFL track record of success down there in Miami, and I'm excited to see what he can do here with Bo Nix. Bo Nix, I believe, has some similar character traits, an even better version than Tua was, but Tua's a very accurate quarterback. I think Bo Nix also is a very accurate quarterback, and I think the dynamic of having both Courtland Sutton and Jalen Waddle in the offense is going to be very fun for the viewer, very fun for Bo Nix to be in command of that, very fun for Davis Webb to also be in command of that. But I think Waddle's fit in this offense is the number one question / the number one thing I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and I certainly think that's one of I just want to see generally where is the increased production going to come from offensively, and that really points to Davis Webb, I think, more than anything else. So I'm doing what I normally do, which is lumping it all together and saying that's what I'm interested in, everything. but I do want to see, how does Waddle fit in? How does Davis Webb integrate the running game in a way that's meaningful and hopefully more productive? And here's the underlying. An underlying factor. If the Broncos can control the football better, just be better on first and second downs, stay on the field longer on third down, a better conversion rate, then they're going to run more plays, and I think everything will take care of itself. And so I'm really honing in on, will it be Waddle? Will it be a different version of Evan Ingram? Will it be, as you've advocated for and talked about, an R.J. Harvey that's been forgotten in large part? I'm interested to see.
No, I think it's a very interesting topic as well. You mentioned the run game being even better than what we saw last year. Do you think that's a real possibility? Then it's better than what we saw while J.K. Dobbins was healthy. Obviously, once he goes down, the entire run game changes. But would you not be satisfied if we got a repeat of J.K. Dobbins' success of weeks 1 through 11?
Sustained through 17 weeks.
Yeah, sustained through the whole season?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're signing up for what we saw last year while healthy.
Yes, and he was at 770 yards through 10 games, something like that, pushing 800 yards.
I think he was top 5 in total yards.
Right, and he was in the top 3 to 5 in rushing yards for the bulk of that first half of the season. I think he ended up 6th or something like that when he went out, not for the whole year, but when he was out, he was in that 4 to 6 range, I believe, if memory serves. But no, I would sign up for the version of JK that we had last year before he got hurt. I do think there's more for RJ Harvey. I can't really yet decide. I know a lot of people have said about RJ Harvey, and we can camp on this for a minute and drill down on it. A lot of people have said with RJ, like you have espoused, hey, there's more in there. This guy should be better, should be able to run inside a little bit better. Others say, look, he proved what he is. The touchdowns were great, but he's kind of a third down pass receiving kind of running back, more of a specialty running back, if you will, and Jonah Coleman's going to be the guy behind JK, at least eventually, maybe not right away, who is the thumper in between the tackles. I'm I'm on the fence with RJ Harvey. I want to believe that there's more. I don't know if there's going to be the opportunity to show more. And so, they always say have an opinion, state your case. I'm waffling with RJ. I truly am. I want to see more. I think there's more talent there, Dante, but I guess what I'm getting at is I'm not sure what the Broncos think of RJ Harvey at this point. I know publicly George Payton keeps singing his praises, and you have to, but the proof is going to be in how many carries he gets, how many touches he gets, what situations he's actually in the game, where on the down and distance he's a part of the offense. So I don't know. I can't make up my mind. I really can't.
I'm very excited about RJ Harvey too, and me and Anilo did it's a YouTube show Anilo does with Jake Shapiro, Anilo and Piro.
Right.
Great show. Go check it out on Denver Sports' YouTube there. But I was filling in for Jake on one of the days, and me and Anilo did a segment of what Broncos have the most left to prove during training camp. And RJ Harvey was my guy that I listed just because I'm excited to see how much more of him we're going to see this year, how much he's improved in the run game. I get he's an offensive weapon, and if that's all he ends up being, I still think that's a good draft pick by the Broncos. I still think that's a productive player for this Denver Broncos team, but I want to see if J.K. Dobbins goes down again like he has in a majority of his NFL career. Can RJ Harvey step in and be that guy? Or is he somewhat limited in his role and he's going to be a pass-catching back and you can line him out wide and you can be very creative with what RJ Harvey brings to this team? But I will say I was not impressed with his down-to-down running ability, running in between the tackles. And I think that's why the Broncos went out and got Jonah Coleman, is if RJ Harvey wasn't up to par with that, given the opportunity, then Jonah Coleman can step in. And you mentioned you're not sure RJ Harvey is going to get those kinds of opportunities. I completely disagree. I think, one, J.K. Dobbins has shown that he can't stay healthy throughout an entire year. And then, two, Sean Payton has shown that he loves substituting these running backs. We saw it all last year. We saw it the year before that, where we're seeing Tyler Bidet get a lot of carries. We're seeing Jaleel McLaughlin check into games. And it just feels like Sean likes this rotating cast of running backs. And I think all three are going to get their fair share of opportunities, especially if Dobbins were to go down. I think Coleman and Harvey are it's their job to lose at that point.
Right. Well, if Dobbins goes down, that's just a different conversation in my mind. But if all three are healthy, who is that down-to-down kind?
It's J.K. Dobbins.
Right. No. If Dobbins is right, if he's healthy, he is. But who's the guy behind him in that role? In other words, is Harvey still just the third down guy who catches passes and scores touchdowns? And does Jonah Coleman get that first crack of being, air quotes, the running back behind JK? Does that make sense?
You're saying, well, I'm confused. Are you saying if JK is healthy or JK goes down?
No, if he's healthy, because look, even last year.
Well, you don't need two bell cow backs, so it would be JK's the bell cow, and then Harvey would come in for some of those other situations.
JK wasn't the bell cow, though, last year. He wanted more carries. Sean doesn't. So that's my point. We saw RJ start to get that, and obviously once JK went down, then RJ Harvey becomes that guy. But who starts to emerge along with Dobbins, I guess, as the second running back of the group?
I think at that point it's RJ Harvey's job to lose.
Regardless of situation, regardless of down and distance, and regardless of what they need out of that position.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying, because if it's down and if it's 3rd and 1, J.K. Dobbins is going to check into the game. It's not going to be RJ. Like, if Dobbins is healthy, I think they all slot into their own role at that point. I don't think you really need to. It's not like there's going to be a game where they're like, hey, running back 3, you're going to get 20 carries today. If Dobbins is healthy, it's going to be Dobbins getting a majority of the carries. And everyone's going to have their role and responsibility at that point that they can slot into.
And I think Dobbins would love to get 20. I don't think he'll get to 20.
Maybe not average, but I would say dang near. I would say 16 to 18 feels right for Dobbins.
He wanted more than that, though. He was what? Or I'd have to go back and look, and this is off the top. 14, 15 carries last year? Does that sound right?
I would have to look as well, but I felt like he was kind of considered the bell cow back of his running back. I don't think anybody else was confusing him as did a split job early on.
No, I agree with that. But remember, Sean doesn't have a bell cow back. We all wanted a bell cow back. Remember in training camp last year?
I think based on the snap count, you can see that Dobbins was the bell cow.
The primary.
I mean, he had 100. He had more carries than Harvey did, and he only played 10 of the games. Harvey played 17.
Yeah. Well, at that rate, it was like, well, I don't know. I mean, that was not RJ's strength last year. Do you think he'll be a better inside runner this year?
I'm excited to find out. I think he has to be. And to me, it also depends on what the Broncos' vision is for RJ Harvey. Maybe they told him at the end of the year on their exit interviews, like, hey, we like you in this role. You're going to be versatile, but you're not going to be our bell cow running back, and that's okay. There's still a role for you. We saw it in New Orleans with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, where there was a role for each of them, and they each got their fair share of carries and fair share of touches. So maybe that was the conversation. Maybe the conversation was, hey, we want you to be more of that bell cow that we can hand the ball to for 15 times a game. So I think it really depends on what their vision for RJ Harvey is going forward. But either way, I imagine he's going to be better at it just because it's year 1 to year 2 in the NFL. And anytime you go through a regular season of any sport, you're going to be better the following year. You know what is going to be asked of you at that point. It's not a big mystery going forward.
So when do you think, or do you think, as we continue on the running back topic, Jonah Coleman becomes sort of the bona fide backup?
I think that only happens if J.K. Dobbins gets hurt.
Really? All season it's J.K., it's R.J., and then it's Jonah, and that's pretty much how it's going to be.
That's my vision of the running back room. Again, we're gonna find out as the season gets going there. But yeah, if I were to predict it, it's exactly what you just said, where it's J.K. getting a majority of them, Harvey being used as an all-around weapon, and then maybe Coleman gets 3 carries a game. But I don't imagine him getting more than 5 carries a game while J.K. Dobbins is healthy.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of high expectations for Jonah Coleman, and I think he's a talented young running back. My expectations are more tempered, and it's primarily because I don't have a sense yet of how quickly he's going to pick up an offense at game speed. I'm not saying he won't, because I honestly don't know. It goes back to this. I'm hopeful that he's able to plug into that, pick it up, be a contributor as quickly as possible, especially, as we all know, because of Dobbins' health history. But for me to take the leap and say, oh, well, by week 6, Jonah Coleman's going to be pushing J.K. Dobbins to be the guy. I'm pumping the brakes on that. That's just me personally. Again, I hope he can contribute. I would expect him to be able to contribute at some level throughout the course of the season. I'm just not expecting it to be over the top, especially early in the season. I don't know what his aptitude is yet.
No, I think that's fair to be reserved by your expectations for Jonah Coleman. And to me, a lot of it does depend on J.K. Dobbins' health. And if J.K. Dobbins is fully healthy for the entire season, I don't think Jonah Coleman's going to be a name that people know nationwide. I'll put it that way. I think it'll be a Broncos country thing, similar to Tyler Bidet, where it's, hey, he'll get his fair share of 2, 3, 5 carries in a game, but he's more there as a reserve. And if Dobbins were to get tired at some point or Harvey's injured, then obviously the role changes. But if everything goes to plan, I don't think people in North Carolina are going to know who Jonah Coleman is.
So, in other words, 0 fantasy impact, right?
Yes.
And that's what people in North Carolina would be following. Who's the Broncos running back? Who's the guy? I think it'll be interesting. Do you believe that we will be, say, in week 4 or 5, clamoring for the Broncos to run the ball more like we were for much of the season last year? This is a question I've thought a lot about. And I've thought a lot about it because I do believe the offense will be more explosive in general. And I do think they're going to be more productive in general. I'm just trying to decide how much of the production and more consistency is going to come from the running game as opposed to a new offensive coordinator who probably wants to sling it around just a little bit and a quarterback who wants his new OC to sling it around a little bit.
That's a great question. I hadn't really thought about it in that context of, are we going to be clamoring for more running the ball? And to me, that comes down to, are the Broncos winning games? They started out 1-2 last year. I think that's a big part of why Broncos country was upset with the way the offense was being run with Sean Payton as the play caller. And if you go out and start 3-0, I don't think there's going to be any complaints at all at that point, especially if it's offensive based. If the defense is coming and bailing you out and you're winning games 12-9, that's a different conversation. But if the Broncos are getting up there and scoring 24 points, 28 points, 31 points in games, I don't think there's going to be too much complaining in general. So to me, it really matters about how it looks and are you winning games. And if the run game is being successful and it's leading to winning games, then heck, keep on running the ball. But if the runs game is being successful and you're not winning ball games, then yes, we're going to have the same conversations of, hey, why are we not giving the ball to Dobbins more? Why are we not featuring Harvey more? But yes, I get the question of, hey, it's 3 quarterbacks. They're basically the brain trust of this offense, and quarterbacks like to throw the ball because that's what they do. That's their role in the offense. So it really comes down to their record and how many points is the offense scoring.
Yeah, I mean, there's been, and this is also tied to, I think, the thought of what will the offense look like with Davis Webb calling plays. And a lot of people have been saying, well, it's Sean's playbook and it's Sean's offense and Sean is there and he'll probably have some input at least during the week, if not on game day. But I think we all know there'll probably be some input on game day too. At least I think there will be. I don't necessarily think it'll be like contentious between the two all the time, but I think Sean will have input. And if Sean had to put, run the ball on his clipboard, and this is still a Sean Payton style of offense, I'm not ready to say, yeah, the Broncos are going to average, 28 carries per game running the football. I'm just not ready to say it. I don't think that's why you go out and get Jalen Waddle. I don't think that's what Bo wants to do, and I don't think that would necessarily be the strength of this offense to turn into that. Could they be could they stand to run the ball a little bit more? Yes, and I think that's going to come with moving the football more.
No, I think that's fair assumption, is to say that they're going to air the ball out again based on what we've seen from this group. And I think it'll be, again, a mostly throwing offense, but hopefully they're able to stick to the run, especially if J.K. Dobbins is healthy and Dobbins ends up being a top 5 rusher at the end of the year. I think that's very possible as long as he can stay healthy. So I'm excited to see it. You make a great point as well about you go out and add Jalen Waddle. You're going to want to feature Jalen Waddle. But we saw them throw it all around the yard last year, and to me, the defense suffered in the second half of the year because of that, because of the 3 and outs, and you're not able to sustain drives. The run game obviously helps with both of those things. So I'm excited. We're fixing to find out, basically.
Who is your breakout player offensively for the Broncos? The guy that maybe overproduces based on expectation. Maybe it is Waddle that comes in and he sort of, it's not a breakout in the traditional sense, but he comes in, makes the impact we all think, and that's the missing piece. And I would sort of lump that into a breakout type of year because he hasn't been here to do that. Who's that guy for the Broncos?
I truly don't think there is a breakout offensive player in the year, and I think that's the best case scenario, because we have high expectations for all of these guys, and I don't think it's going to be Pat Bryant stepping in and going for 700 yards or something like that. I think we know all the names on this offense that are going to end up being major players on this offense, but I think that's a good spot to be with your roster where it's veteran-led. You know what you're getting out of these guys. It's not some big mystery, and you have weapons all over the field where you're not too heavily relying on one guy. If I can use the answer you just used there, basically, I guess it's Jalen Waddle. I think Waddle goes for 900-plus receiving yards this year, and then we might even see some trick plays with him throwing the ball or him running the ball as well. So I think they are going to be able to use him in many different ways, but I think he is going to be maybe not the reliable target that Courtland Sutton is, but he is the straw that makes it all go, and he is going to be the one leading this offense, with Courtland Sutton being a little bit more of that sure thing on third downs or stuff like that, those situations.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see, does Bo just play backyard football again? because he loves that. He loves that style. He loves to just kind of get on the edge and see what happens. And yet, are they going to try and encourage him to be a little more structured? There's so many great storylines when it comes to this Broncos offense. I'm sort of taking the defense for granted at this point. That's just me. I think maybe a lot of you guys as well in Broncos country. Going to be fun to find out, as the first practice will be on Friday. All right, we've got to turn our attention to the Nuggets. Hey, the offseason for them is just getting started. That's next.
Broncos training camp is almost here, and the questions are loaded. Is Bo Nix's ankle fully healthy? Can Jalen Waddle and Courtland Sutton become the best wide receiver duo in the AFC? Will Davis Webb's play calling unlock what Sean Payton couldn't? And who wins the battle at running back? The answers start next week. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Home Improvements. For an 8% scheduling incentive and a special financing rate of 0% APR with 72 equal monthly payments, go to drhi.com. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors. Finished basements, windows, and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
The hot weather is here. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new air conditioner? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinions. They have amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Miss the giveaway? Santiago's is giving you a second chance. Visit eatatsantiagos.com to find select locations handing out free unfinished business training camp t-shirts while supplies last. Fresh burritos, fresh gear, it's a win-win. Santiago's, faithfully authentic.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, Dr. Joseph Ramos is both a doctor and a lawyer, combining legal and medical expertise. He can help. Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. RamosLaw.com.
Guys, are you looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and a free consultation, call 720-459-HAIR or at advancedhair.com.
Men, if your energy is down, your workouts aren't producing results, you're gaining stubborn weight, losing muscle, sleeping poorly, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, it may be more than just aging. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Our low T and body composition treatments are designed to help men regain energy, improve focus, sleep better, build lean muscle, reduce unwanted fat, and restore confidence both in and out of the gym. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we specialize in helping men optimize their health, performance, and vitality. Using personalized medical treatments tailored to your health and goals, many men begin noticing improvements in energy, mental clarity, recovery, motivation, libido, and overall body composition within just a few weeks. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, PSA and T-test, and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With experience beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
The Drive is heading to Saddle Rock Golf Course July 31st from 2 to 6 p.m. Join Zach Bai and Philip Lindsay at the former home of the Colorado Open. Breathtaking panoramic views and an unforgettable course layout. The Drive, live at Saddle Rock Golf Course, July 31st.
This segment on The Fan brought to you by Denver Roof Pros.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
Mike and Dante on Denver Sports Tonight. Always love our great RamosLaw.com texters. Mike gets partial credit. Took me to task in a fun way. Saying the first practice is Wednesday. Sean speaks then. The Broncos practice on Thursday. And then, okay, that's the ramp-up period. I get it. I guess officially it's the start of camp. But to me, camp starts when the fans are there. That's what I'm referring to.
You're just a man of the people. You like the fans.
I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of Broncos country, man. That's exactly right. But thank you, Mike. Yes, that is worth clarifying. And I'm just going to say it because it came up in the text. Nobody does the public even care about the media barbecue? I never mention it because I never figure the public really cares.
I think we'll get a couple players that are going to speak
True.
as well. Who knows how in-depth that gets into,
Right.
but they'll be able to hear from a little bit.
Yeah. I forget. It's been a minute since I've covered those things on a regular basis. Does Sean speak at the media barbecue, or is it the first day of
I
practice?
don't believe so. I believe I was kind of doing two things at once here, but I believe Will said he's going to speak either Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, 303-713-1043 on the RamosLaw.com text line. On the YouTube chat, you can weigh in there. It's
I have an
powered.
official answer for you, by the way.
Yes.
He will speak Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, there it is. So Mike was right again. He gets another half point right there. The YouTube chat is powered by Sean Ponda. Got to talk a little Nuggets. There are some reports that Payton Watson is considering the Nuggets qualifying offer. It would be what, 1 year, about $6.5 million, and then Watson would become an unrestricted free agent after next year if he goes that route. Dante, I have a hard time seeing him go that route. I just do. He'd just be leaving too much money on the table.
He would, but it would kind of be a little of a FU to the Nuggets if they don't want to give him this big mega contract that he was expecting. And it's kind of similar to Le'Veon Bell sitting out when he got franchise tagged by the Pittsburgh Steelers, where these guys are people are spiteful in general. So I understand where he's coming from, and he could go out there and then leave in free agency on his own, and the Nuggets get nothing for him at that point.
Do you think? And I know that he figured 4 years and $70 million, which are the reports that was the deal the Nuggets have put on the table to him. I know he feels that's too low. And he would be insulted by an AAV that's probably below that of Christian Brown, which is $25 million a year over 5. And Payton, to the best of our knowledge, has not actually voiced that. That's just the reporting and some of the speculation. I have a hard time seeing him play for $6.5 million this year. I just do. And if he does, how resentful is he going to be?
Oh, incredibly resentful.
Right.
The relationship's fractured. If he signs the qualifying offer, the relationship is fractured at that point.
So then he becomes a player that does his own thing to try and get his numbers, to try and get a big unrestricted free agent deal after next season, that's a recipe for disaster. The Nuggets might as well just, cut ties now.
I don't disagree with that sentiment that if he signs the qualifying offer, it is going to be about Payton Watson, getting Payton Watson stats so he can go out there and get a big contract in. Yeah, him doing well helps the Nuggets, but everybody knows to go out and win a championship, everybody needs to sacrifice a little bit. I don't think he'd be willing to sacrifice at that point. The Nuggets haven't done him a solid. I don't think he needs to necessarily do them a solid.
I think Payton Watson is – I think there's a chance he's going to be back. And by the way, on the RamosLaw.com text line, and I lost the text, but I'll try and find it. Someone was saying, well, the relationship is already done with. Oh, here, from the 4993. The relationship is over with Payton. They're lowballing him, and he's seeing how the Nuggets are treating him versus Braun. They're making him go to RFA and offering $8 million less than Braun. He saw Braun get $25 million without doing any of this. Well, first off, things have changed a little bit, and I know Payton wants his money, and that's why I just have a hard time. I have a hard time seeing him go $6.5 million this year. I just do.
Yeah, but that's 1 year of that where he's made less than. I would assume he's made less than that every year leading up to this. I think the agent can sell him on, hey, you do one more year of that, I'm going to get you that big payday next year, and you're going to be able to play against the team that not screwed him over, but that wasn't willing to pay you what you're worth or what he thinks he's worth.
Yeah, I mean, but do you honestly believe that Payton Watson would? I mean,
I don't think he wants to be a Denver Nugget.
So even you don't think if the Nuggets all of a sudden said, "Hey, we'll offer you $23 a year."
If he was an unrestricted free agent and the LA Lakers are offering him, I'll just do easy round numbers here, $25 million a year.
And then he's gone.
Exactly. But I would say even if the Nuggets have the same offer, he's still gone. He wants to be elsewhere. I think he only wants to be a Nugget if they're going to pay him the most amount of money.
Here's my question, though, and this is what I was referring to when I mentioned going into the break that the offseason's just getting started. I don't know if there's a direct correlation between moves getting made and LeBron signing, but if the commissioner is coming out and saying, hey, LeBron, a week or two ago, make up your mind so we can finish the schedule and get on to league business, I'm supposed to sit here and believe that teams are not pausing until LeBron makes his decision to conduct the rest of their business? I think,
absolutely
of course they
are.
Right,
I think teams like Cleveland, I think teams like Miami, I think teams like Golden State. I think any three of those. I don't think Miami has the financial ability to go out and get a guy like Payton Watson, but if Cleveland gives Payton Watson a big offer, if Golden State gives Payton Watson a big offer, that would not surprise me one bit at this point after missing out on LeBron.
This is why I think the Nuggets offseason is just getting started, is because of LeBron. And now the playing field is set. The Nuggets probably had a good idea that they weren't going to get LeBron long before LeBron made his decision, even with the whiteboard when that came out and Rich Paul had the Nuggets up there, and we had fun talking about it because it was fun to dream about that for a day or three. But now, with LeBron making up his mind, the Nuggets, along with the rest of the NBA, can decide, okay, where are we putting our money? I am firmly with Zach on this, that if the Nuggets decide to go 125, 200 plus million into the taxes and are willing to pay that, I'd be stunned. I would absolutely be floored.
I don't know what other option they have at this point. Nikola Jokic is still dangling free agency in front of that organization like a carrot. And if they sell him, hey, we're not actually going to pay all that much money. We're going to have a worse team than what we've had the last 2, 3, 5 years going into his true free agency, unrestricted free agency. I think you're playing with fire at that point.
I completely co-sign that, Dante. I do. But what have we seen from KSE that would indicate they're willing to be the only team in the NBA to be in the second apron and pay those kind of taxes, or virtually. I mean, right now they're the only team in the second apron. I would be stunned. I still believe that they could bring Watson back and trade one of their guys, whether it be Cam Johnson, whether it be AG. Would they get as much as they would maybe in another situation if the rest of the league wasn't sure what they want to do? The rest of the league firmly believes the Nuggets are going to try and get under that luxury tax and get out of the repeater tax for next year. And that means you're not going to get as much return on whoever you decide to trade. But if you bring Watson back but can unload, I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying this is what I think they want to do because this is what they've always done. I'm not talking about avoiding the tax altogether because Josh is right. They have dabbled in it. They haven't gone diving into the deep end of the pool to the tune of $200+ million. And as Bobby Marks of ESPN documented on X, look, if they give Watson a deal in that 23-ish range, they're looking at a almost $240 million tax bill. I'll take Bobby Marks' word for it. And if you run the numbers on the repeater taxes I have done, it adds up in a hurry. And Dante, I think they could trade Cam Johnson. I think they could probably find a taker for Aaron Gordon. I'm not talking about value back. I'm talking about because you want to shed salary, keep a young guy in P. Watt and give him a chunk of money, not $6.5 million, and find a way to get under the luxury tax by June 30th.
I agree with that. And I'm not saying that they're going to pay $200 million in luxury tax. Maybe they do move Cam Johnson, and then it ends up being a little bit more of a reasonable luxury tax they're going to pay. And I'm not even saying this team is worth paying $200 million into the luxury tax, but they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. And this is what happens when you overpay for guys like Jamal Murray, you overpay for guys like Christian Brown. It really puts you in a tough financial space. And you can even add Aaron Gordon to that list at a certain point with the limited availability that he's had in the last 2 seasons and the last 2 postseasons as well. So the Nuggets kind of made their bet a little bit. Now they have to lie in it. And if lying in it means you have to pay $200 million in tax, that's what's going to happen because you signed bad contracts in the last 3-4 years here.
I'm just gonna ask it, given because I believe that the Nuggets are motivated to get under the luxury tax. I don't know if they actually will. I just think they're motivated to do so. And again, it bears repeating. They don't actually have to be under the luxury tax until June 30th of next year.
See, to me, that's PR nightmare, PR suicide, basically, is if this Nuggets team's been very good in the regular season in the last, 5, 6, 8 years. If you're the 2 seed in the West and you're trading off assets to get under the luxury tax, that's just a PR nightmare that I can't envision happening.
No,
I see that less likely than paying $200 million in luxury tax.
I'm with you there. I just can't imagine they would go into the season substantially into the luxury and repeater taxes and then say, yeah, well, we'll shed if we're not very good. I mean, that's crazy. Just make the move now. Talk to Joker and say, this is our plan. And hope that he buys in enough when you start talking about, oh, this is what we want to do once we're clear of the repeater tax and we're, air quotes, rebuilding under or bringing in a fresh group of free agents and whatnot for the season after this one. They are in a tough spot for sure. When we come back, you know what? We've had a request. We're going to fulfill the request and talk some Avs. That's next.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group by diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Most families get their financial advice in pieces. A financial advisor here, a CPA there, an estate attorney somewhere else. Everyone means well, but nobody's talking to each other, and those gaps can work against you. Trajan Wealth's family office brings wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning together, not as separate conversations, but as one coordinated system built around your life, your goals, and the people who matter most. Ours is a true family office, not one that refers you out because it's convenient. This kind of dedicated collaboration used to require a 7-figure net worth, but here's the game changer. Trajan kicked that door open. Trajan advisors are fiduciaries, always obligated, always honored to act in your best interest. Unlock your Trajan family office at TrajanWealth.com or call 1-855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax.
All right, barbecue fans, Dan Jacobs with Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040 with something special for you that we're cooking up for the best free meal in all of Denver. Now, in addition to my delicious smoked pulled pork that we serve on nearly a monthly basis and my copycat Chipotle chicken recipe that has a kiss of smoke and is fantastic. Our friends over at Old Style Sausage, a local company that makes these sausages that are custom made for the smoker. Mike Daborski over there is going to give us some. So this summer, they will join the menu at the best free meal in Denver. We're here to help. It's every first and third Thursday. You get free groceries and a hot meal for the night. No questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. It's every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road, E Hills Church from 4 to 6 p.m. Help us spread the word.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception that they love to bust. You don't need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, make it happen. Call American Financing, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike and Dante putting the finishing touches on Denver Sports tonight. Got a few minutes left. We're going to cover some ground. First off, we had a request on the RamosLaw.com text line from, we'll just say a couple of texters who are like, yeah, at least mention the Avs. All right, we'll mention the Avs. They traded Val. They trade Ross Colton. They trade Jack Drury so that, Chris McFarland goes to Nashville and he makes 2 deals with the Avs. I actually like what they've done. Look, they're not going to touch the core. McKinnon, Makar, Landy's still part of the core just because of who he is and his legacy with the team already. And I think Netchus right now is part of that core. They weren't going to move any of those guys. And yet I think the Val trade was good. They stocked up some picks for that, and Val didn't produce much in the playoffs. I don't know, Dante. Right now, I still expect the Avs to be right there contending. I'm still having trouble getting the Western Conference Finals nightmare out of my brain. So to say that they're the Cup favorite, I'm gun-shy on doing that. But I will be more than interested in a matter of 6 or 8 weeks as the Avs get going.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to see what happens with the Cale Makar extension. That's still looming, but the Val trade, I think it was great to get off of that money and create a little bit more roster flexibility for this team. This team's got to go out and do it in the playoffs, and we're going to talk about them before the season starts. We're going to talk about them during the regular season, but there's almost a bit of a boy who cried wolf with this Avalanche team.
A little bit.
To where the regular season success hasn't exactly translated to postseason success, and even off-season success, if you want to call that what the moves they've made there. Again, I want to see it when it really matters, and I don't know. Unimpressed isn't the word I want to use. Maybe slightly uninterested, and it's due to the fact that I want to see it when it really matters later on.
Yeah, of course. And one other note about the Avs from the RamosLaw.com text line. What about Cale Makar's contract? Is it a simple negotiation and a formality? Will his number cripple the Avs? Will it be something that really hampers them and ties their hands in the future? I've really got to see what the number is. And the cap's going to keep going up in hockey. We keep now seeing guys push that envelope of 16, 18 million a year. So I do trust Joe, and I do trust that the number that they give to Makar and Makar accepts is going to be fair. I'm not expecting him to give them a huge hometown discount, but I also don't think it's going to hamper them because they're going to fit it in. And then some of the core pieces who are older than Makar are going to end up falling off the books sooner than Cale's number will anyway. And they'll probably be replaced with another star that's bigger than, say, McKinnon's number whenever that time comes. So I'm really in a wait-and-see mode before I can comment because I don't know what the number is yet.
I will say I imagine it will cripple this cap sheet in general, but that's what happens when you have really good players. You have 2 of the top 5 players in the NHL. You have to pay them a large sum of money, and in a hard cap sport like hockey it's tough to build out the rest of the roster, but it's like first world problems. Our players are so good that we have to sign with such big contracts. It makes it tough.
For sure. I want to get to a little bit of baseball here before we get out of here. Bob Nightingale has reported that the Rockies are letting teams know that these players are available before the trade deadline. Mickey Moniak, Jake McCarthy, Willie Castro, Antonio Senzatella, Kyle Freeland, Michael Lorenzen, and Tomoyuki Saguano. Dante, there is no surprise on that list for me. And I think if teams are talking with the Rockies, let me repeat, I am not at all saying the Rockies are shopping Hunter Goodman or even want to trade Hunter Goodman. But we all know how conversations go. Hey, Paul. Hey, Josh, what about Hunter Goodman? What do you think? I mean, is there anything that you'd be interested in? I think that's feasible, that those kind of conversations could be going on. I think the Rockies are going to deal some veterans, and I think they need to.
I think so too. I think it's a little funny that Kyle Freeland's on this list. I don't really know how much he's going to fetch in return. But guys like Moniak, McCarthy, Sagano, who's been a great starter for the Rockies this season. I believe I saw a stat he was the first starter for the Rockies to get to 10 wins since 2021, which is just an embarrassing stat out there. So I think those guys can fetch some decent prospects in return. You're not going to go out and get a number one prospect from any organization or anything like that, but I think it's the Rockies in the last 2 years prior to this were so bad that they didn't really have much to offer to these other teams. I will say at least it says something that the Rockies are in a position to move on from guys because they have players that are wanted by teams around the rest of the league.
Dante with the last word. Always good to see you, my friend.
You too. Look forward to Friday.
That's Dante Gomez. I'm Mike Rice. Thanks for being with us on Denver Sports Tonight.
They're back. Our free limited edition Training Camp 2026 t-shirts. We currently have drops at various international hot tubs locations across the metro area. Limit 1 per person while supplies last. For more details and to find the location nearest you, head to denversports.com/shirt.
Hey, that's not bacon grilling. That's your living room at 2 p.m. If your home heats up every summer, your windows might be the reason. Infinity by Marvin Windows protect your home from UV rays, solar heat, and help lower energy bills all summer long. Colorado homeowners have trusted Gravina's Window Center of Littleton for 50 years. Right now, you can save 25% on Infinity by Marvin Windows. Visit them at windowsforyourhome.com. That's windowsforyourhome.com.
Robbie Dino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases, 300 trials. Let's face it, divorce is really impactful. You may have a controlling spouse. You may have a violent spouse. You may have been a victim of a domestic violence. You may be wrongfully accused of domestic violence. This all affects parenting rights. And let's face it, the kids are the most important. These are the things that need to be handled. They need to be handled appropriately by someone that's going to protect your kids and protect your rights. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com, 720-706-5151.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood